Hey there. Creating an Amazon listing is kind of like creating a sculpture. It's an art and a science. Your Amazon product listing is perhaps one of the most important factors that determines the success or failure of your product. In an e-commerce world, the most important aspect that a customer absorbs or understands before making their purchase decision is based on the information that they receive from the listing. The listing has different parts, including product title, description, images, and even pricing and reviews. It is very important to understand how important it is. It is very important to understand the different aspects of it and what limitations are in place. And of course, it is crucial to understand the best practices to make sure that you are able to create the best possible version of the listing, so that in a world where you have millions of competitors, millions of brands selling almost the same products, you can use this as a tool to stand out in marketplaces and succeed in a space and create tremendous amount of success for your brand. And in this video, I'd like to share the different aspects of product listings, what are the different parts of it, and how one can better understand how to improve it and have the best possible version of your product in the online space. Here are the 7 different aspects of your Amazon product listing. The first is the product title. The product title comes up at the very top. It is perhaps one of the most important factors in your product listing. There are some restrictions around the number of characters that you can include in your product title on Amazon. It is best practice to include things like brand name, the product, the variation, and any specific things that make it stand out, for example, color, material, etc. The second are the product images. Now, as you can imagine, when consumers look at products online, they go through the images and they imagine themselves using or being close to the product that they're looking at. And hence, like they say, a picture says 1,000 words. It's important to have images that is able to convey the different aspects of the product, because research has shown that not a lot of people spend a lot of time reading the descriptions and the text related to it, as opposed to scroll through the images and make a decision on how to make the purchase. Amazon allows up to 8 images. There are some restrictions on how the first image, also called the hero image, needs to be. It needs to have a white background, and the product needs to occupy at least 80% of the image. And there are some pixel restrictions as well. The more resolution, the more pixels it has, the better, obviously, because as if you can imagine, you can go hover near the image and the image zooms out if it has a good resolution, and obviously that's a kind of a best practice. The third are the bullet points or the feature bullet points. So on the right side, just below the product title, just below the reviews and the pricing, you can see the different features that show the different aspects of the product. Amazon on the back end allows up to 10 different bullet points, but on the front end, it typically shows up to 5. So sellers use this space to highlight the different aspects of the images, highlight the USPs, and there's also good space to include keywords or high search volume keywords, with the idea that if a product has a certain keyword, and when people search for it, your product will have a better SEO ranking and show up. And it's a great space for doing that as well. But one must keep in mind that it's not just a space to put in keywords, but a way to convey to potential customers how good the product is and if they're able to connect with the product as well. The fourth aspect is the product descriptions, which usually comes below the product, the bullet points, and maybe you have to scroll a little bit below it. Usually Amazon allows up to 2,000 characters. Again, it's a kind of a summary of what the product is. But if you have something called the A plus content approved, then the A plus content would replace the product description. So a product description is just text, but A plus content, we'll get to that in some time, is more rich media. But product descriptions is again a great way to include some high volume search keywords that you can include to make sure that your product page shows up better. Then coming to that, product reviews and ratings, it's one of those things that is not in your control, but again, a critical aspect of your product listing, because the customers take the product reviews very seriously before making a purchase, especially new to brand customers. Again, there's very few things you can do to get more reviews, but it is an important aspect of a listing nonetheless. And Amazon product reviews are a great way to get feedback on what the customers really think about, what they like, and more importantly, what they don't like, and perhaps use this as an opportunity to optimize your listing, to make your bullet points and title and images in a way that connect to the right type of customers that you would like to connect. So reviews are a great way to do that. Then you have search term or backend keywords. So on Amazon seller listings, there is a space on the backend where you can enter keywords that appropriately describe the product. Again, it's a great way to rank better in your product. So there are basically two types of keywords. You have high relevance, high search volume keywords, basically keywords with a very high search volume, people search for it. Then you have a concept called niche keywords, which are something that do not have a high search volume but are extremely relevant to your product. So the idea here is that instead of competing in the high search volume keywords where there'll be a lot of products, if you're able to rank in a niche keyword, perhaps it gives your brand a better opportunity to grow in that particular niche of people who are searching for that niche. And then finally, like I mentioned earlier, there is the A plus content. It is an aspect of Amazon listing that's pretty unique to Amazon, where if you have your brand registered in brand registry, you get access to A plus content, where you have an opportunity to put more rich media content, including images, text, videos, and different aspect of it, which appears again below the after you scroll a couple of times in the product page. They claim that if a product has A plus content listing, the conversion rate is typically higher. And so it is definitely a good idea to do that, especially since it's free of cost. A part of A plus content is something called a brand store. Again, requires brand registration through brand registry. But again, it's kind of like a mini website on Amazon, where if somebody clicks on your brand name on the product listing, they will be taken to a product page as opposed to just a page where it shows different products. It's a building A plus content is not very difficult. It's a drag and drop system where you can go to your campaign manager, go to A plus builder and build A plus content, where you can put a banner ad, you can put images, you can put products, and there are a few other aspects of it. And once it is approved, you can link it to a particular ASIN, and so it shows up below. And so these are the different aspects of the product listings on Amazon.